from New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning. Laura Styles, Rosenberg, get it together, bro. You're holding up. Ella May's here, fam. Ella May.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Is this what you thought it would be? This is your first official album. You've been working a long time, putting up cover songs on X Factor. You did all of that. Is it what you thought it would be, your first album?
Yeah. I think to be honest, I think that you always have this like idea in your head of what it would feel like to release an album or your debut album, but I never really had a clue of what my debut album would sound like. That was always the part that was kind of missing to me. So I think working on it for over a year really helped me, like, and working on the EPs also, but it just really helped me kind of like find my sound and putting it out. I've never been happier in my life, honestly. It's been like the happiest moment in my life.
I love that. Now, you, I think you put up an EP on SoundCloud. Was that how it started?
I mean, I started on Instagram with Instagram covers. Yeah, I did put like a mini EP on SoundCloud that was 4 songs called Troubled, which was like way back. But how I really got found was from my covers on Instagram. I was doing 15-second covers, and DJ must have found me.
Yeah.
What was the first cover that you did?
Fetty Wap 679. Yeah, it was, yeah. So that can give you kind of the time scale. I think it was like 3 years ago now. Yeah. But that song was all over the radio, so I was like, let me do something that everyone's familiar with.
Take us through the process of Mustard reaching out. Like when you first reach out, where you're like, oh wow, this is crazy, it's DJ Mustard. How long did it take from a DM to like you're in Los Angeles and you're working and you're, you know?
It didn't take long. He DM'd me and was just asking what's my situation. And I didn't have a situation. I was just singing in my bedroom, and
that's my situation. I'm in my room.
I really I had no management. I worked in retail. I was in school for music, but I was just recording off my iPhone. Didn't have a mic, like using YouTube backing tracks. So it was very basic. He said he wanted to work with me. So probably like a month or two after we had that conversation, I was in New York and he was in Philadelphia for Made in America. So he drove from Philly to New York and was like, let's do a session. So we did a session here in New York first, made 3 songs. And from there, he was just super excited. Like he wanted to get me to LA and wanted to continue to work on stuff. So I think maybe like a week after that session in New York, I went to LA.
But in that moment, you're talking about it casually now because it was years ago. But in the moment, you're a couple of weeks removed from all you're doing is singing into your phone. Mm-hmm. Like, do you even know how to have a studio session?
I mean, I'd been in the studio before, yeah. Okay. But I'd never been in the studio with someone like Mustard. So it was definitely something that I wouldn't say I was nervous, but I was just apprehensive because I didn't know what to expect. And like I said, I didn't have management or anything, so I took my friends with me because I didn't want to go by myself. And he was mad cool. Like he just was super laid back. He I didn't feel like he was watching over my shoulder. He kind of just gave me a whole folder of beats and was like, pick whatever you want and do whatever you want. I think he more so just wanted to watch how I worked. Like if I worked well in that situation or in the studio situation. So yeah, it was like it wasn't like, oh, I'm the celebrity or I'm the big producer and you just do what I say kind of thing. He's always just been really interested in what I want to do, which was cool.
He also called me the other day.
He Mustard it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the sex tape. He was like, yo, motherfucker, that's not my artist in the sex tape. I was like, it was a damn good job in the sex tape, though.
I'm done.
Unrelated. But it's an unrelated thing altogether.
Yeah, but still, he's definitely making sure that this LMA thing goes
he's
the way it's supposed to.
Mustard is like, it's not even just a business thing. Like that's like my big brother, and he really, really looks out for me. So anything that anyone does that's gonna try and like badmouth me, he's not having it.
I was like, yo, Rosenberg and Laura said it wasn't her. He was like, yeah, but you said it was her. I was like, I mean, it was a damn good sex tape. Well, sex tapes aren't bad nowadays.
But by the way, and based on the information we learned about your cell phone usage the other day, I mean, you're on your phone so much, you don't know the difference between reality and not reality.
Now, for you as an artist, did you laugh at a circumstance like that, or does that cause you some sort of trauma when you're like,
do you know what? I somewhat laughed. I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, you can clearly see it's not me. And people are just trying to drag anything.
It was super bootleg. I was actually kind of annoyed because I don't dig in like that. And when he said there's rumors out there, we all sit in the room and just say whatever happens off the air. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys see this? You see that? So they said that, and I went, all right. And I clicked the link. I was like, guys, They're not. This is not close.
Yeah,
What are we looking?
it was ridiculous. Like it was
It
that
was-
It really
ridiculous.
was though, because I was like, this is not her at all.
It's kind of bootleg.
Like,
You almost disappointed me now because can I have a second where I think it might be real and this is just something else?
No, yeah, I think it was just so ridiculous that I was just like, this is dumb.
And then I
Like,
told Mustard too. I was like, look, it lines up nice with album promo. People are talking
Absolutely
albums
not.
on the way out.
Absolutely
like, it's
not.
hot, it's
That's
hot.
not. No, that's not what we're. That's
You
not
didn't
what we're
want that
going
as your
for.
promo?
Absolutely
No, no,
not.
no.
Were you surprised that Boot Up became it like what it became? Did you know it was that kind of record?
I don't think anyone knew it was that kind of record, to be honest. Especially from a new artist, an R&B artist, especially. None of us expected it. We didn't even know that.
You thought was it supposed to be like a nice little warm up record? Like, oh, let's get people familiar.
I mean, it was on my third EP, which we put out in February 2017, but it was the very first one on the EP of five songs. So we didn't put it out as like let's just let everyone get familiar. We just put it out because we love the song.
Okay.
Like on a little body of work with 4 other songs, and yeah, it took a year to pick up, but I would say it's better late than never.
So by February 20, a full year later is when it started really.
It was like
heating up.
March or April, I think.
So
yeah.
over a year.
Yeah.
So it's super
Mustard
interesting.
told me about her a lot. He was like, wait till this LMA, like this artist I got. I was like, who? Then Boot Up, blowed up. I still didn't put it
all
together.
together.
Still didn't put it all
Well,
together.
I found that record to be fascinating because it's a really nice song.
Thank you.
But I wasn't expecting it either because I'm like, it almost was like it showed how much the music world was thirsty for that kind of
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A great R&B song.
Like just a
you.
really nice R&B song.
I think I don't think we've had one similar, like in like a similar aspect, similar content, everything since Miguel Adorn.
It's that's a great comparison.
Which was like what, 2013, 14.
it's been a minute.
So it's been a while, and I think you're right. I think that's why a lot of people kind of latched onto it because we just haven't really had something like that in a while.
How did it feel to get the call to be on Bruno Mars's tour?
I mean, I was like, I didn't know what to say because I didn't expect it at all. I didn't expect it. But it's been amazing. My manager was the one who told me, and everyone was just. I remember Mustard just like, Mustard always says to me like, "You're on." That's all he'll say. Like he'll be like, "You on." So that was his reaction. But yeah, I was super excited. I'm a huge Bruno Mars fan. I think his show is incredible. So
Have you gotten to meet Boys to Men?
no, I haven't. We're all on separate dates.
It's all separate
So
days.
the four
Sorry,
openers.
Shawnee. I was gonna see if she could at least just put a word in to Boys to Men.
Boys to
I
Men.
mean,
she
you know,
on
I like
Bruno's
Boys
tour.
to Men.
No, we know, Shawnee. We know. She won't
Great
see
group.
them.
Amazing.
No, yeah, it's.
So who's on yours?
It's just me and Bruno.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like when Boys to Men are there, it's just Boys to Men and Bruno.
Got it.
Charlie Wilson and Bruno, Sierra and Bruno.
Oh, I didn't even
Got it.
realize
They
that.
split it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
tight.
it's not all of us on one show, which would have been tight.
I
but-
thought it would have
what
been
we
tight.
thought.
We all thought that.
I was like, yo, this shit is R&B summer jam.
Yeah.
Shit is out of control. So I'm looking here. We play the Trippin record. There's the Jacquees version, which got the internet's in a frenzy. Why LMA yank his version down? What role, if any, do you play in that sort of political thing?
In the actual situation, or
Yeah,
people
in
talking
the
about
actual
it.
situation.
I don't play any role in it, to be honest. I feel like my label made a statement, and there's not really much else to say about it, to be honest. People are going to take it how they want, but
You don't care
what I don't care about
how
what.
people take it.
I mean, somewhat, because I don't want people to, people to think different than what the actual situation is. But a lot of it is people don't actually know the real ins and outs of the industry, and I can't blame someone for not knowing something. So.
Because it is, labels definitely have, what is it called? Proprietary governance on materials and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and I think it's just people don't really know what actually happens in that situation, and it got just like blown up.
Do you personally mind if somebody covers one of your songs?
No, I don't mind at all. I mean, there was another big thing. Is like, oh, you started doing covers, so how could you like be mad at someone for doing that? I don't mind at all. I mean, Boot Up, there was 5,000 different remixes.
I was just about to go
Yeah,
there.
so it's not that. It's just like it's just when it comes to someone trying to monetize, then it becomes a different issue. On the label side, like the whole business side,
Yeah.
it's never gonna
Never
happen.
gonna fly. Have you ever met Jacquees? Do you know
I
him?
have. I do know him. Yeah.
You guys are cool.
Yeah, we're cool.
But you blocked him on Instagram. So this says, block Jacquees on Instagram.
Who said that?
Made our research back.
Who said that?
Our
That's
intern.
what it says on this piece of paper.
Who wrote this piece of paper?
Our
The
intern,
interns,
James.
And where does your intern get his information
the
from?
internet.
You can't believe everything you read.
There you go. So you didn't block Jacquees on Instagram.
I never even followed him, so it was.
To block him doesn't even make sense. Look, man.
Yeah, this is where we're at, bro.
It's so
Listen,
What are you talking about,
Jacquees is upset clearly and putting out something that says that LMA blocked him on Instagram.
You don't know that he's the one who leaked that information. It could come from these internet trolls. Could be
That's what
anywhere.
you're going with?
Sure. What did Kellyanne Conway say?
Fake news, alternative
I'm saying it
facts.
could be Kellyanne Conway. Newsweek ran it?
Newsweek ran this story.
Yo, first of all, Newsweek has too much time on their hands. You know what's happening in our country right now, Newsweek? Stop worrying about LMA and
trying to
Jacquees.
get hot. They're
Thank
trying to
you.
get clicks.
Thank you very
man.
much.
That's not what we need. Right
What
now.
goes on in the UK with R&B? Talk to me about, because there's so many great R&B artists in
Yes.
the UK.
Yes.
And so when I found out, and literally only knew you were from the UK because one time I heard Boot Up all the way to the end.
And I was
like,
speaking.
she's from England? What's happening? And I feel like I'm up on a lot of R&B artists from there, and I was not up on you. But talk about what's happening in the UK with regard to black music and R&B.
I think there's a bit of a shift right now, but it was very much non-existent for a long time, mainstream. There's always been a whole bunch of us doing it and trying to bring it back to mainstream, but the labels in England are very pop-based. They're very like, they'll try and turn any type of artist that you are, they'll try and turn you into a pop artist. So I think where it was missing is just that they don't really know how to market it that well. And the reason a lot of people didn't know I was from England is one, because I sing You Can't Tell, but my career basically started in America.
Right.
So everyone was like, oh, I didn't know she was from the UK, because I didn't really have any type of bubble in the UK before I signed to Mustard and moved right to America.
Right. And you lived in Queens? You lived in New York for a while?
Yeah, I did. I went to high school here.
Queens. She's from Queens.
What part of Queens?
When I first moved to New York, I lived in Jamaica, and then I moved to
Jamaica, Queens. That's
Kew
my
Gardens.
town.
Yeah,
Makes very good music. You know, the people that come from Jamaica.
yeah, they definitely do.
Just saying, yeah.
We,
Big up.
I can claim it. Right?
There you go.
Yes.
You're allowed to claim it.
Queens,
Separate.
you claim Queens now?
Queens all day.
I mean, I lived there for 5 years of my life, and they were crucial years of my life because I was 12 to 17, and those are your.
All right. What school?
I went to QHST, is
All right.
Classical Teaching in Belrose.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
she's down with us.
Queens.
I went to
down with us.
IS 59 though for junior.
I went to IS 59.
That's insane.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I only
see?
went for
we just
for 8th
became
grade.
best friends.
That's amazing.
You like LMA now, like Boys
all
to
day.
Men? Like Boys to Men?
Boys to Men.
And
all
LMA.
good. All good. All good.
What would be what's the next single off your album? So Trippin' Boot Up so far. The Chris Brown record came out early.
Yes, that's a good question. I don't know what the next single is.
What do you want it to be?
I have like damn near all of the songs on the album are my favorites. So figuring it out is gonna be a tough one. I think we want to let it sit for a little while and see.
Well, it looks like a fan favorite is Good Bad.
Do you know what? Everyone has a different favorite. I've had a lot of people say everything with John Legend, Good Bad, Dangerous, Shot Clock. Like, it's been a very like
This is
wide
a good
spectrum.
problem that you have.
Yeah, it's a great problem.
What do you want to play right now?
What do I want to play? Let's play Dangerous.
And why that one? Why?
Dangerous is one of my favorites. I think just because it's so reminiscent of. It's produced by Brian Michael Cox, who
Legend, R&B legend.
Of course, and I personally reached out to him for that session because I was like, I need you on my album, and I think it's just very nostalgic. I love it because it reminds me of the stuff that I grew up on. So
Let's do it. Her name is LMA, if you don't know. She's got an album self-titled LMA, and it was nice meeting you.
thank you for having me.
Don't go blocking Jacquees on Instagram.
Why would she do that again?
She's
Right.
gonna block your ass.
How many fake things you gonna bring up today, man?
Right.
Yo, relax,
That's a
man.
good question.
Yeah.
Oh, you want more? I can do this all day.
You start
You know they
scrolling
call me
again.
clickbait bro. I can do this all day long.
I'm telling you, you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
Why not? It's fun to believe things that aren't true.
See, you have to understand, Ebro, when people make things up and he's involved, he likes it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of different. Like someone made up a sex rumor that Remy Ma said he had sex with Nicki Minaj. It was the best rumor that ever happened
Yo,
in his
I
life.
loved every minute.
He's
of
been
that.
Why?
running, he's been running with it ever since.
Nicki Minaj?
Aren't you married? Or
No.
Are you in a relationship?
Yeah, now.
Now, but not then.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and even if I was then,
It was-
doesn't
it
matter.
wasn't real,
lit.
so
it
it was-
wasn't. Nah.
And this Nicki Minaj, so he was smile from ear to ear.
It was like Beyonce, can't do that. That's my friend's wife. Rihanna, I wish. Nicki Minaj, All day. Why not? Let's
The
go.
worst.
So yeah, it's a different kind of.
Look, man, people have sex every day.
I
It's not
know.
a big
I'm
deal.
not saying it's a. I never said it was a big deal. I never said it was a big deal.
But by the way, that's classic male privilege. Let's be honest.
What?
Because the way that you would be perceived for having sex with Nicki
It's
Minaj
very
is
different.
not. If they said Ella May had sex with Neo next week, that wouldn't be. Sorry, I don't know.
People don't take. People don't have.
One.
Here we
No,
go with the
fam.
fake news.
No, like that if you throw out some random name, it wouldn't
People
come
have
out the same
boyfriends
way.
all the time.
But it's
Rihanna's
not-
had multiple boyfriends that we know about. Nobody judges Rihanna.
Yeah, but for a new female artist to be attached to anything
we're
sexual.
talking about Nicki.
No, you're stop thinking about yourself.
Oh,
I mean,
who we
for
talking about, her?
Yeah, like it's
Oh,
rumors
yes,
are
yes,
different
yes, yes.
for a new woman
But we
in
know
the
that's
business.
not her. We off that. We was talking about me and Nicki.
God. All right.
That's the real heat.
He just
rock
wants to
out
talk
here.
about him.
He's back. He's back to it.
It's okay.
Yo, give it up for
Thank you
Ella
so
May.
much.
Thank you.